The real reason everyone hates Enzo Fernandez is disgusting.
I hate Enzo Fernandez.
And once you see it, you'll never look at him the same way again.
They were an utter shambles. They were disgusting, disgraceful.
4 years ago, he was the golden boy of world football. Best young player at the 2022 World Cup. A £100 million+ Chelsea signing that every club wanted. Today, he's getting booed across England, unfollowed by his own teammates.
There were, I think, they all unfollowed him. They were really, really annoyed.
And publicly rejected by the one club he begged to join.
Madrid have made a statement. I've never seen a statement like it, basically saying we have no interest in signing Enzo.
We're going to show you the racist chant he filmed himself singing, the dirty challenges that keep following him, the ego that got him humiliated by Real Madrid, and the red card that turned him into the villain of an entire World Cup. Stick around for that last one, because it's the moment that will follow him for the rest of his career. And here's the thing people miss. This isn't jealousy. This isn't rival fans being bitter. This is a long list of choices, finally catching up to him.
He is incredibly dislikable, and some of his conduct, it's actually blown my mind.
Picture the scene. Argentina just won the 2024 Copa America, beating Colombia in extra time. And the team is riding home on the bus, buzzing off another trophy. Enzo Fernandez pulls out his phone. He doesn't record a quiet moment for himself.
After the game, the players are sat on a team bus, they're chanting, and suddenly Enzo Fernandez whips out his phone and decides that now is the best time to, I think, go live or start filming.
He goes live, filming himself and his teammates singing a chant about the French national team. And the words aren't even close to okay. The chant mocks the African heritage of French players, questioning whether guys born and raised in France actually deserve to wear that shirt just because their parents came from Cameroon, Nigeria, or Angola.
They are discrediting the players' French identity because of their African backgrounds. There's the problem. There's the racism.
Then it throws in a homophobic line aimed straight at Kylian Mbappe for good measure. This wasn't some private joke that got leaked by accident. Enzo broadcast it himself, live, stone sober, a couple of hours after the final whistle. Nobody forced his hand. He chose to hit record. The people most affected by this weren't strangers either. Enzo shares a locker room with 5 French players at Chelsea, several of them black, guys he trains with every single day.
You've got 5 players who are from France and are black playing for Chelsea, bro. What are you even thinking? These are your teammates, man.
Wesley Fofana didn't stay quiet. He posted the video with a caption that read, "Football in 2024, uninhibited racism."
Wesley Fofana, who's quite outspoken anyway on socials, or it seems like he is anyway, they've all unfollowed him on Instagram, and he actually posted, or Wesley Fofana did posted on to Twitter and on Instagram with a caption saying, "Football in 2024, uninhibited racism."
And he wasn't the only one who reacted. Other Chelsea players quietly unfollowed Enzo on Instagram, which tells you exactly how his own dressing room felt about what they just watched. The French Football Federation filed a formal complaint
to file a lawsuit for abusive remarks of a racial and discriminatory nature.
FIFA opened an investigation, and Enzo, faced with all of that, put out an apology that somehow made things worse. He wrote it in Comic Sans, of all things, and instead of owning what he said, he blamed it on getting caught up in the euphoria of winning the tournament. Being happy isn't an excuse for singing something like that. He wasn't drunk. He wasn't a fan losing his head in the crowd.
Why do you think it's okay to echo a fan song on your personal social media channels is simply beyond me and largely inexcusable.
He's a professional footballer who's played in Portugal and lived in London for 2 years.
Is like this, but from the players who have a wider perspective of the world, you should expect better. They should know better.
He knew exactly what those words meant before he ever hit record. That chant told the world who Enzo is when the cameras catch him off guard.
And for me, it's easy to make an apology. You apologise now because you got caught, but you showed yourself in your true colours to your teammates. Don't apologise.
But if you'd been watching him on the pitch before any of this, the pattern was already right there, in plain sight. Take the England game. 2 minutes in, before the ball is even settled into a rhythm, Enzo punches Elliot Anderson in the back of the head. Not a coming together, not a heat of the moment shove, a punch to the back of the head 2 minutes into a football match. You're not allowed to do that in a boxing ring, let alone a sport where your hands aren't even supposed to be involved at all.
Like, you're not allowed to do that in a boxing ring. And yet he has done that on a football pitch 2 minutes into the game.
And this isn't a one-off moment of passion boiling over. It's part of a pattern where Enzo goes after opponents even when the ball is nowhere near him, like the aggression exists separate from the actual game being played. Watch him for 90 minutes and you'll notice the routine. He sarcastically applauds referees when a decision goes against him, milking every call for the cameras, and that theatre usually earns him a yellow card of his own. Then, instead of settling down, he follows it up with a reckless tackle that puts an opponent in real danger.
The first yellow is because of his temperament, and I think it's a yellow card too. The second one, when you're on the yellow 10 minutes before you took a yellow, be smarter than that.
I have to seriously...
On the halfway line as well.
I have to seriously question your temperament as a professional footballer.
Already sitting on a yellow card, already one poor decision away from an early shower. He still flew into a challenge that sent his opponent flying through the air.
I thought it could have been a straight red, incidentally.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
whatever.
stats are not showing, but yeah, I see what you mean.
But the guy does a 180 in the air.
That's not composure. That's a player who thinks the rules bend around whatever he's feeling in the moment. Then there's the Cucurella incident, where Enzo joined Messi in surrounding the referee, pushing for an opposing player to be sent off on what amounted to a technicality.
For him then to try to get Cucurella sent off because he put his hand over his mouth at some point, and for Messi to do it as well, I thought that was so disappointing.
Even Argentina's own fans found that one hard to defend, because it wasn't about winning a football match anymore. It was about manipulating the guy holding the whistle into deciding the game for you. Enzo wasn't playing football in that moment. He was working the referee like a lawyer works a jury, and it left a taste that even his biggest supporters struggled to swallow. On the pitch, he bends the rules to protect his ego every time something doesn't go his way. And as it turns out, that exact same instinct was about to play out with his own club, in a much more public and much more embarrassing way. Enzo wears the Chelsea armband. He's the co-captain, second only to Reece James, which is supposed to mean something about trust and leadership. But over the past year, he spent just as much time dropping hints about wanting to live in Madrid as he has actually leading that dressing room. Interviews, comments, little asides about the weather, the lifestyle, the football over there. It built up, and eventually it forced Chelsea's hand, because you can't have a captain who's publicly window shopping for a different badge while wearing yours. The club disciplined him over it, questioning the commitment of the exact player they'd handed leadership responsibilities to.
He was the player that you banned for 2 games, right? Because he wanted to go to Madrid. Which agent wanted. Yeah.
Then came the humiliation. Real Madrid, tired of the constant links and the constant flirting, put out a public statement saying they'd made no effort, direct or indirect, to sign Enzo Fernandez, and had no intention of doing so. Read that again. A club had to formally deny wanting a player because the rumours around him had gotten that loud.
Enzo Fernandez has been rejected by Real Madrid.
That's not a transfer saga falling apart quietly behind closed doors. That's rejection delivered to the entire football world in black and white. You'd think a wound like that might humble a player. It didn't. Roll into the 2026 World Cup and the same pattern shows back up. just on a bigger stage. Reckless challenges again, off-the-ball scuffles again, constant friction with opponents who are just trying to play football, while Enzo treats every match like a fight he needs to win, with his fists instead of his feet, and it builds to the same result it always builds to. In the World Cup final itself, with everything on the line, his temper makes the decision for him.